All right, hey everybody, welcome to Chiustream. Hope you guys are doing great today on this wonderful Thursday morning here in Toronto. Woke up to a whole bunch of snow this morning. Um, it was pretty hard to drive this morning, but that just means that we're gonna have a great stream today, right? That's what I always kind of take things as when you're trying hard, you're using your common sense, and life throws a brick at you. Just means great things are going to happen. So, if anybody is new to the stream, I just want to say that if you go to facebook.com/bobby.chiu, so that's Bobby, Bobby .chiu, you can post your comments in that very first post there, or questions, and I will answer them during the stream. Okay? If you want to participate, so this is how it works. Way back in the day when we first started this thing, we all drew together. I came up with a topic and everybody drew it, and then I would pick a winner in the end, give them something special. So if you would like to participate, you still can. The topic for today's drawing is hamster. Winner gets a free schoolism class, self-taught. What's up? And you can find out the information, the link, by going to um, facebook.com/bobby.chiu. It's the very first post there. The same post that I'm saying you can post your questions. You can also get to the event page where you can post your hamster drawings and such on the page. And then at the end of the stream, I'm going to go and check out which images got the most views and select a winner. Now, there were some questions about this since it was the very first time. Should we post the images early? Should we, what should we do with these posts? When should we post them so that it's as fair as possible? I was thinking that there's so many awesome entries. I was thinking that I would take the top few entries and select a winner from there. Um, I hope that's okay with everybody. Keep things as fair as possible because I know some people have uploaded early, which is great. Really great work with that. But just so we can kind of have a more, I guess, a more fair kind of way to view everything, um, instead of it just being about the likes. Let's let it be, the most likes. I'm going to take a look and see who the winner is, if that's okay with everybody else. Okay? Now, I see a whole bunch of people in the chat. Sminny's in there. Right on. There's a whole bunch of very, very awesome and familiar faces or familiar names in the stream. Wonderful to see. So let's give out a bunch of big shout outs to people out there. Do a little roll call. Tell me where you're from, and I'll give you guys a bunch of shout outs. Excuse me. So I already see it's Minnie from London, of course. I see my favorite buddy from Malaysia, Wykit, on the stream. Great to see him on the stream. See Indiana, Italy, London, Malaysia, Olympia, Panama City, Berlin, Germany, London, Berlin, Ireland, Italy, India, Montreal, Russia, Brazil, Boston, Germany, all over the place. Awesome. France, Philippines, Madrid, all over the place. Russia, Texas. Great to see everybody on the stream. Diane from Scotland, what's up, Diane? And a whole bunch of uh, in-house workshop students, the Imaginism in-house workshop students, and previous Imaginism in-house workshop students. So happy to see you guys. Miss you guys tons. And yeah, wish there was a magic door where we can all kind of just open and get together again. And for those of you that don't know what the heck the in-house workshop is, well, it's a very special event that happens about 10 times a year where we invite just 4 artists from around the world to study in the Imaginism house, this big old 6,000 square foot house just outside of Montreal, Canada, lake in the back, beautiful, serene, and it's the perfect peaceful place to get super intense about art. Stay up all the time, and you got 3 other fantastic artists staying up with you, just pushing you to encourage you to learn and get better and keep going and going at 100%. And then you're living with your mentor, Thierry Lafontaine, one of my best buds out there in just outside Montreal, Canada, in a little town called Saint Julien. That's where all this happens. Really nice and peaceful. And registration is still open. Um, Let me just double check. I forget when registration actually closes. But if you're interested, it's all inclusive. Go to imaginismstudios.com/learn/workshops. Or you could just go to imaginismstudios.com and click on learn and then click on workshops. It'll take you right there. Okay? So registration right now is open. You can submit your portfolio. Then you get a Skype interview if your portfolio is selected. And then if you're selected, welcome. You're going to have a great time. Thierry, he's a fantastic, fantastic teacher. Okay, so enough about that. Let's go on to a couple little things I want to mention. Um, First one is Florence. Going to Florence. Actually, I'm going to Florence tomorrow, and that's for the Florence workshop that's happening December 16th with Peter Desev, character design with Peter Desev, and then figure drawing with Marcelo Vignali, 2 of my favorite people in the whole entire world. Uh, and then, of course, there's the Vancouver workshop. Kay and I will be flying into to Vancouver in January for the Vancouver workshop, January 10th and 11th. I'm going to be teaching painting creatures. Then there's environment design, character design, lighting for story. Um, Lighting for story was with Sam Nielsen. Character design is with Pixar's art director of character design, Daniel Arriaga. And then we have environment design with the master, Nathan Fowkes. And then, I'm going to be teaching painting creatures as well. It's going to be an awesome time. And we realize that some people want to just take certain workshops, so we've also opened it up so you can buy separate workshops and just pick a la carte, because that's how life should be, right? So you could get in on that, and let's see what else is there. Austin, same thing. We're doing a workshop. We're bringing it to Austin. Different classes, different instructors. It's going to be January 31st to February 1st. Environment design with Nathan Fowkes, and he's going to be teaching us color and light design, as well as Terrell Whitlatch, the creature super master expert. It's who all the experts kind of look to as being the expert of the experts. Terrell Whitlatch with creature workshop, and then advanced world building techniques with the amazing David Levy of live action craziness. He's working on Avatar 2 at the moment. It's an opportunity not to be missed. And yeah, so if you have any questions, just type them into the very first post on facebook.com/bobby.chew. Oh, and some really exciting things are happening with Dice Satsumi and Robert Kondo's super crazy anticipated class, painting color and light with Dice Satsumi and Robert Kondo. Um, for you guys, I always try to announce things a little early. December 16th, look out for it online. You guys are going to know first. There's going to be the self-taught version will be available December 16th. That's going to be awesome. And I'll try to set up some links or something for my followers, for the people that have been nonstop chew streaming. So hopefully I can give you guys a discount on this. I just have to confirm it with Robert and Dice. Um, December 16th. Look out for it. If you want to get the newsletter of when this thing comes out and how to get a discount on it, go to schoolism.com and then um, click on Dice's class, click on the notification list, and then you can make sure that you get the alert. Okay, so that's going to be crazy good because you know what? I've been watching this class, painting color and light, and they've done a masterful job with this class. It's fun, it's entertaining, and it's so much knowledge, it will blow your face off. So good. I'm telling you. So good. And the best thing is that they designed this whole entire class very much towards self-taught. So you're going to really enjoy it. Anyways, okay. So many things going on. For previous chew streams, okay, previous chew streams, all you have to do is go to bit.do/YouTube chewstream. Okay, one word, YouTube chewstream, and you'll get to the YouTube page on there where you can watch all the previous chew streams. Okay, I think that's it. Except for composition class with Nathan Fowkes. It's coming soon, 2015, in the beginning of 2015, composition class with Nathan Fowkes, the master. Uh, that's going to be an epic, epic course on like how compositions really work, how to think in composition and all that good stuff. It's going to be great. All right. So let me go to the questions here and see if we have any questions. Otherwise, I got some little thoughts that I meant to put down. But hey, we got some questions. Okay, great. Toby asks, are you going to the Austin workshop? Actually, that is one of the very few workshops that I won't be attending. It will be Terrell Whitlatch, it will be Nathan Fowkes, David Levy, and my buddy Manny, um, and who knows who else. But it's going to be a bunch of awesome, awesome people, and uh, it's going to be a great event. And that one, we've turned it on. We turned it on so that you can buy, separate workshops for whichever one interests you or the package. Okay, so thank you so much for asking about that. It's going to be a great time. I hope you make it. Vitali, what's up? Always good to see you there. What do you think about Corel Painter? How would you compare it with Photoshop? Pros and cons. Well, I like Painter, but the thing is, I always felt like I couldn't paint nearly as fluid on a big canvas. Okay, I couldn't paint nearly as fluid on a big canvas when I was using Painter. I would have to always paint, kind of like lower res. But it's a great program. The brushes are hardcore. As long as the brushes are smooth and easy, to use with no lag, then I think it's going to be good. Archer. I have a question about the in-house workshop. I'm not a character artist, but I've been thinking about applying. Do you recommend this for artists of all genres? Anybody that wants to learn fundamentals of art, you know how people always, all these professionals are always saying, it doesn't matter about the program, it doesn't matter about the techniques, it doesn't matter about these little flash in the pan trends. What matters is hardcore fundamentals. That's what this course is all about. That's what this workshop's all about. 30 days non-stop, epic, right? Just instilling hardcore fundamentals into you, and also good common sense about career stuff. Things that people don't talk enough about. Your state of mind, to really gain success. What kind of, state of mind do you want to have? A lot of people, they say, I'm married to art. I'm married to art. And that's great, you know. Um, I kind of think of it like it's not like I'm married to art. It's more like art and I are one. It's more like we're conjoined twins, like Quado from Total Recall. You know, art is in every part of my life, and because it is, every every time I'm doing something, if it's related to art, I'm getting a little bit more ahead. I'm improving a little bit more. And it's constant, constant, constant on my mind. And a great kind of thing that Dice Tsutsumi said uh, in his and Robert's new class coming out is that he paints even when he's not painting. He's looking at things, judging them. What's the value of that? How dark or light is that? You know, there's this really good lesson that he does in lesson two where they both talk about distilling everything that you see into just three tones, and that's very difficult. Grouping certain levels of tones. So if you had the whole spectrum scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is the lightest tone, down to 10, which is the darkest tone, they would talk about if you had to distill everything that you see into three tones, what kind of grouping would you have? Would you have it, 10 to 8? Those dark tones would be part of one group, and then 7 to 4 would be another. That would be a mid-tone group, or 3 to 1. And then you would have to consciously think about it, select it in your mind, and paint the painting that you're looking at, or, the scene that you're looking at, I should say, and distill it into just three categories, specifically, you know, uh, tones like 6 to 3 would be mid-tone, 2 to 1 would be the lightest tone, and then 10 to 7 would be the darkest tone. And it is bloody hard. It's actually super challenging, and it's a great exercise. And he talks about doing this constantly, looking at things and practicing in his mind, even when he doesn't have a pencil, paper, brush, paint. So, no excuses. You know what I mean? There's no excuses. All right. Let's see what other questions we have here. Bryce, I'm currently following your class as a self-taught. Today's topic is a good excuse to ask this. When you paint fur, why don't you paint fur in detail everywhere. You talk about the illusion that fur is painted everywhere. Is there a reason other than saving time? And is it a bad way to paint fur by painting every single hair? You know what? That's a great question, Bryson. It's totally legit. Like, why don't I paint every single hair? Well, if you look at really great paintings, they do that a lot. When we don't zone in to a section of hair and we're just looking at the head and just taking it all in, do we see every strand of hair? No. We see accents of hair where hair, you know, pops out, right? And with curly hair, wavy hair, you might see a lot more accents because it's not as solid of a shape, right? There's so many more kind of details that pop out at you. And straighter hair, you tend to see less accents, right? So either way, for any of them, it's important to try to simplify what you see and distill it into a more simple statement. When it's a simpler statement, it's a lot more kind of digestible with your eyes. It's a lot more understandable right away with your eyes. Of course, there's no laws in art, right? You can do anything that you want. Um, for me, yes, definitely it's a thing about quickness, you know, being being really quick with your work, so that directors or producers or your clients are not waiting forever. But at the same time, I like it because it's kind of like a puzzle. You know, the whole illusion of lots of fur when you're only painting details in certain areas, that intrigues me. And you know what? That's part of what intrigues me about art in general, because isn't that what art is? It's an illusion, right? I'm painting this creature, I'm painting it, and I'm forming it so that it looks more three-dimensional. But is it three-dimensional? No, not at all. It's two-dimensional. And that's interesting to me. It's just like the whole puzzle of how do you make this illusion happen? And top it all off, how do you make it happen in a economical way? And those are just like the challenges that I really like about um, fur. By the way, oh yeah, so I mentioned previous Chew streams. I've been recording them so that they're HD. You can watch those on YouTube or on YouTube. You could get there by going to bit.ly or bit.do and slash YouTube Chiustream, one word. Andrea, what's up, Andrea? One of my favorite in-house workshop students or previous in-house workshop students, super talented. When you're dealing with a subject that you have no experience like or with like something new for you that you've never done before, do you have a specific approach when drawing and painting? How can you find the strong points of the subject to make it look real, like the hamster from today? Okay, so bunch of different questions on there. So let's deal with the first one. When I'm dealing with a subject that I have no experience with, do I have a specific approach for drawing and painting? Um, well, definitely I would do some research. Try to figure out what each piece means. What does it do? For example, if you're searching up armor, then you think about, well, what does this plate do? This part of the armor do? What's its function? If it's an animal, then you look at the different body parts and think, what are the functions of those body parts? If it's water, um, and you see foamy parts compared to transparent parts. You try to distinguish what's the transparent part, what's the foamy part, why are they there, where's the reflection, where's this light coming from, all those kind of things, and really try to figure it out, right? And do some research and try to figure it out. However, after that, it's really very much about kind of looking at it like an alien. You know, you're just looking at the fundamentals of it. You're looking at uh, light, color, structure, function, texture. And a lot of times when you paint thinking like that, painting a tree all of a sudden becomes the same as painting a dog. All of a sudden becomes the same as painting, you know, water, right? Everything that we see is not what we see, but instead an interpretation of what's there. Or, sorry, it's not what is there, but more like an interpretation of what's there, right? Uh, we are seeing light bouncing off of things. So if you really start to understand light, then you can start to understand all the different little tones that you're seeing. And then if you understand structure and function, then you'll really start to understand that object as well. Once you really start to understand those things, then you can simplify those things in a very efficient and smart way. There's a snowblower outside, so if you hear snow, some sort of machine, that's what's going on. All right, let's go on to the next question here, which is by Mark Jackson. So Mark asks, um, or says, I just took a background artist test for a big TV show on Cartoon Network and I got rejected. I'm currently just getting, uh, you know, small projects in graphic design and advertising, but I have no passion for it. I really want to be involved in the entertainment industry, but I can't, or I just can't get in. And I'm feeling and I feel I'm being sidetracked by accepting jobs just to pay the sorry, excuse me, just to pay the bills. As it's coming towards the end of the year, I'm questioning my art and portfolio and whether I should just settle, even though I really don't want to work. Whoa, sorry, it's a little distracting out there. I really don't want to. I really don't want to settle as I have no care for clean corporate advertising work. I work on my own personal projects. I've been lucky enough to get advice off some of your peers, but it's hard to pick myself up and try again. Okay, Mark, are you trying your hardest? Are you using your common sense? I have a feeling that you are. You know, the thing is that a lot of times we are tested. We're tested in almost like the worst times all the time. You know, before I start to break into the industry, same kind of thing. Same kind of thing, Mark. I was trying, couldn't get a job anywhere. But you know what? The people that really tend to succeed don't give up easily. Successful people don't give up easily, and a lot of times they don't settle. They don't settle for the smaller jobs. But that doesn't mean just, you know, that you're settling or you're not going to settle with your dreams. It means that you are thinking about what it's going to take to achieve those dreams, and you're doing those dreams. You're doing those things to get to that dream. And you're not settling. Even if it means some really hard nights for a year, for 2 years, whatever it is. Even if it is after work, you got to take some classes, take out some time to go to some classes. Hey, successful people do that stuff. They don't care. They are um, stubborn about breaking any of those things that will take them to that next level. Let me break it down to you like this. Okay, if you really want those dream jobs, first of all, you're going to be a much happier person when you reach that level. Second of all, if you don't and you just settle for, the advertising work that you don't like, you're not going to have a happy life, a happy career. Persistence is your engine, Mark. Common sense is the steering wheel. Belief is the key, and you need all three to get to your destination. Okay? Persistence, common sense, belief. Don't settle. That's what I'd say. But like every stream that I do, I remind people that that's my opinion. You know, don't take my answers as the be all end all. That is the only correct answer. I would much rather everybody think about what I'm saying. And if you don't believe it, it doesn't make sense to you, then don't follow it. Because there's many ways. But, it's a huge but there. But if you do believe it does make sense to you, then I stress that you have to do it. You have to. No matter how scary it is, you have to do it. Because too many times we know what we need to do to get to that next level, it's just we don't do it. We look at the exercise bike and we don't get on. You know, we want to live a cushy life. Cushy lives come from, a lot of times the most treacherous path. That's what leads you to that cushy life. It's not the cushy path. The cushy path is generally leads you to the opposite. You go down the cushy path and you end up in a lot of problems later. Now, the other thing that I want to address here is that you're taking jobs just to pay the bills. That's fine if you really, really, really need it. Don't take the jobs if you just want a little bit more cash for the comfort. Because that time that you're doing to do that job that you don't want to do, that is not your goal, is not bringing you closer to your goals. It might be more like making you sidestep or step backwards from your goal. Those jobs out there where we are like, yeah, that's simple, I could do that quickly. Don't do them if you can. Don't do them if you can because it's only going to sidetrack you from your goals. All right. Let's go to the next question here. How do you manage to work with friends? Isn't it hard sometimes? Is it better to avoid working with friends, or you just have to find the right friends to work with? You just have to find the right friends to work with. Honestly, it's great working with friends. It's so much better working with friends, um, as long as they're the right friends. Okay? If they're the right friends, then everything's great. If they're friends that you are totally down with, they're your friends, you love hanging out, but you think about it, you think about their career stuff, how they are with responsibility, how they are, with time, trustworthiness, things like that. You gotta make sure that you're gonna be okay with that. Okay, otherwise it might lead to problems. And how open they are to advice, change, whatever. That was one of the best things about our team when we were working on Nico and the Sword of Light animated comic book. It's only, four of us that were like the main people involved, and all of us were very open to um, everybody else's suggestions. I think that was like the key thing that really helped with the project. Okay, let's go on to the next question here, which is from Sophia. I note that several times when I'm drawing, I'm thinking and I'm thinking about other stuff. What do you think while you're drawing? Do you constantly, do you think constantly about your drawing? Um, Hopefully, yeah, when I'm in the zone, when I'm when I'm totally, totally in the zone, I'm more seeing than thinking. I see the stuff done. I know where everything's gonna go. That's the best times. That's like the really, really good days where I can look at a blank page and I see it there. And that's something that you can actually improve on. Just like muscles in your body, there's many little muscles in your brain, different ways of thinking, and you can improve on them. So if you're constantly trying to visualize, like hardcore, like really trying to visualize things clearly, you can get better at it, which is awesome. And yeah, the best times when I'm drawing, I'm looking at the thing done, and then I'm kind of just catching up with my hand. Of course, the times where I'm not as focused, for sure, I'm thinking about several things, all these other things that I'm supposed to do, need to do, whatever. Right now, the constant thing that keeps entering my mind is the Montreal workshop and the Toronto workshop. We want to do both of them in March, and it's going to be awesome. Montreal, so far, it's it's exciting. Alex Wu from Pixar, he's going to be coming to Montreal doing a workshop about story. And Steven Silver, one of my best buds in the whole world, is coming to Toronto, Canada to teach character design, and he's a fantastic teacher. It's not on sale just yet. So you guys are getting the lowdown. Now, we're talking a bit about who was it? I think it was Mark Jackson. You were saying maybe you should take your dreams down a notch, things like that. Something that I'd like to tell everybody, all of you that are listening, you know, what if you could make decisions without fear or failure? What would you decide to do first? Think about it. Put down an answer within the first 30 seconds. And really think about that goal there. Recently, I interviewed Carla Ortiz. The interview's not out yet, but will be. But Carla Ortiz, she worked for ILM. Now she's working for Marvel Studios, the prestigious Marvel Studios, making awesome, super giant blockbuster films. She was born and raised in Puerto Rico. I asked her, did, you know, coming from such a small island, so far away from the mainland, did you ever imagine that you could do all the things that you're doing right now? She said no. She never would have imagined it when she was, a teenager in Puerto Rico. And I think about it a lot of times where I'm thinking, imagine if I believed that I could be doing the things that I'm doing now from when I was like 10, from when I was a teenager, early 20s. Because I didn't really believe until it just kept happening. Um, and I think I was in my mid 20s when I really believed, and I was just like, no matter how scared I was or whatever, I just kind of kept that belief close, just kept going after it. So imagine if you could make decisions without fear or failure. What would you decide to do? What would your goal be? Think about that. Write it down. Um, a lot of people, we talk about practice, 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 constantly practicing to get better. Well, a lot of times it's really about the practice. How are you practicing? Like I was saying before, every kind of thinking, every way of thinking is kind of like a different muscle in your brain that you can exercise and grow and get better. If you're constantly working out your deltoids, your muscles are not going to grow because you're working out your deltoids. You need to work out your calf muscles. So if you want to get better at something specific, you could doodle, and think about everything, think about whatever, and you will slowly get better. You can learn when doodling. I agree. But when you draw to learn, like when you're looking at something specific and you're really trying to concentrate on getting better at that specific thing, like if you're looking at something and you're just trying to use tones to make it, or you're just trying to use line drawings to make it, you are targeting specific things. And when you draw to learn, you learn a lot more. What's up, Shren? You have a question here, right on. Shren is one of our in-house workshop students, our previous in-house workshop student that is from Singapore, that is staying with us in Toronto and is interning at the studio. So she's just outside. Um, I was wondering if you can elaborate more about the importance of sketch language. What are the things you think about when sketching or putting down lines? Every stroke you make is an excellent choice and it feels so well thought through. Thank you so much for the kind words. I could probably do a lot better, but thank you for that. So, the importance of sketch language. Sketch language is kind of like what I call my sketching and how I sketch. You know, because a lot of times we sketch and then we look at our sketch later and we don't understand what the heck we were thinking. What does that line really mean? What does that dot really mean? What did that, bit of tone really mean to us? A lot of times we look at it 10 minutes later, we can't tell head from tail, or we can't tell specifically exactly where that shoulder ends, things like that. So that's why I put an importance on what I call sketch language, a language of your sketching where you can go back to it and look at it and you can understand what the heck you meant. When we learn English or we learn a language, we learn an alphabet. We learn what this word means, what that word means, right? We have an alphabet to help us sketch down notes, write down notes really quickly. And then when we look at those notes, we can distinguish words and we can understand what was the importance of that statement, of that line or whatever. And that helps us expand it into perhaps an essay or something like that, a book. So you start off with notes, quick, short notes that will help you to write the bigger, longer, much more thorough book, right? And sketching, you develop a good sketch language. What does this represent? What does that represent? It helps you to do the finished painting, which means really only you need to know what your sketches mean when you're painting for yourself. If you're painting for a bigger project, you have supervisors and things like that, then they'll need to understand your scratchy writing as well. But sketch language is kind of like how to distill the things that I want to remember and have be important, um, as something that I could put down that would be nice and simple, and I could look back at it and see exactly what I meant there. That's that's what my explanation of sketch language is. Christoph writes, I was wondering how much planning went into Nico and the Sword of Light. I've been working on a few personal projects, but I have trouble with time management and planning. Also, I'd like to thank you for your advice. You're very welcome. Thank you so much. A lot of planning went into Nico and the Sword of Light. The bigger the project, the more planning that has to happen. And a lot of times, this planning might feel like it takes forever. It might really feel like it takes forever and nothing's getting done. But that's the most important part. If you, like a carpenter, if you measure twice, you only need to cut once, right? And right now, we've started planning the next version of Schoolism 3.0, and it's just nothing but planning right now. Tons and tons of planning. Um, so how do we do that planning? Let me kind of address that. When you have a big project, you need to break it down into little steps. Because if you just like look at a mountain and go, okay, let's go climb that mountain, it's going to be very difficult for you. But if you break down that journey into all these little parts, like this is what's going to happen first. We're going to get to base camp first. This is what we'll need at base camp. This is the stuff that's going to happen at base camp. Then we're going to go to, the first level, and that's how high, and what do we need there, and all that stuff. Break it down to little steps and do one micro step at a time. It's kind of like a cheesy joke that I'm sure many of you have heard. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do you take on a big goal? You break down to little steps. Vitaly asks, how do we attach a hamster to a contest? You got some message. Weird. You shouldn't be getting a message because I thought I opened it up for the public. Does anybody else have that same issue? Let me know. Or if you have a solution, let me know. Okay, let's see here. Well, you can see the page anyways, right? The event page, topic for drawing, hamster, some really good entries so far. Just great to see. Love, love so many of these. Wow, wonderful. Really, really great. Definitely, if you are listening to this and you're not really watching as much, that's totally cool. Go to the event page and take a look at some of this art there and click on the ones that you like the most, okay? Because there's a lot of really good, a lot of really, really good entries there. Really fun ideas too. Okay, so let's see what other questions we have here. Um, I also want to post, let's see here. I also want to post the event for next time on my Facebook. Okay, so the next stream, well, next Thursday, I'm going to be in Italy, so we're not going to have the Chew stream at that time. And then the next Thursday after that is Christmas. So what I propose is that we have the next stream on the 23rd of December. And so if you go to facebook.com/bobby.chew, you can see I just posted a new post on there saying the next broadcast is going to be December 23rd, Tuesday. Be a great little Christmas stream. So please click on that, put that you're attending, and invite your friends. Okay, and let's all just draw and paint together, and let's get this group as big as possible. Topic for drawing is going to be snow. And again, I'm going to give away a schoolism class to one lucky person out there, self-taught version. Um, I'm going to take the drawings and paintings that have the most likes, and I'm going to select the final winner. Okay, and so the topic is snow. And you could do whatever you want. So if you already submitted an entry to Hamster, the Hamster Challenge, then you could start working on your snow challenge as we're doing this stream. Okay? All right. So again, that's going to be on a Tuesday, not the Thursday, not the usual Thursday. Calvin asks a question. It's been a long time. It's been some time since he joined the stream with us. So welcome back, Calvin. What's up? Glad to have you back. So your question is about the right time for production. I still Okay, so I'm going to paraphrase. I'm still doing anatomy studies and stuff, and it's been a long time since I produced something finished. I've been busy and all, but I also got some good feedback in a convention that happened from my mentors around here about how dynamic my sketches got. But as they said, I still need to work better with artwork. Anyway, in your vision, in your life experience, is it good to produce something while studying and post on the internet, or should I be more patient about how good I will get enough to produce something later? Sketches are great. You also need to practice finishing stuff. There's too many people out there nowadays, I think because the whole trend of speed painting, there's too many people nowadays that do great sketches but can't finish anything. Now, if you're a beginner, if you're entry level, you can't expect other people to finish your sketches, right? Maybe if you're more at a advanced level, then you can expect to have people finish your sketches. But it's important to have a finished style and a sketchy style. Um, so definitely work on your finished stuff as well. Should you post stuff now or wait till you get a little better? I actually, that's a really good question. And this is, of course, it's just my opinion, but I feel like you should just post stuff now. That's what I did. I just started posting stuff because you know what? A lot of us artists never feel like we're ready, never feel like what we do is good enough. Can't let that stop you. You could incubate, keep working hard at your art, make it better and better, better and better until it's awesome, and then push it all out there, blam, like a tsunami, and just knock people over by how amazing your art is. And they might not see your early stuff and perhaps consider you a ready, right away, professional, genius level, talented, naturally talented, if that's such a thing. They might totally feel that if you kind of incubate. However, the flip side of that is if you post stuff now, even when you are not completely ready, people love to see you grow. And one of the best things that you can do is start relationships with people. Get to know people. Start to talk to them now. You know, you start talking to people now, start making good relationships now. Uh, you let them grow over time. It's powerful, to say the least. Networking, you know, who you know plays a huge part in how far you're going to get in this world. There's so few jobs where you don't have to deal with people. There's so few jobs. Um, why don't we have classes about, how to deal with people, how to communicate better, things like that? How come we don't put as much emphasis or stress about that into our school curriculums? I have no idea because I would say that is, definitely one of the top two or top three most important things that will dictate, how your career will be. Now, a lot of us think, well, maybe I just want to paint, draw comics at home. I'm not going to have to deal with anybody. But nowadays, you kind of have to. You have to have that internet presence. You have to have that social media kind of presence there um, to get to those next levels, right? For many of us, for many, many of us. And then if you're working in production, if you're working in pre-production, if you're working in film, games, television, you're dealing with a team. You're dealing with multiple people. So work on your communication, um, work on your social skills. Not to say that Calvin needs to work on those social skills. I'm just saying overall in general, that's something that if you aren't consciously thinking about it, I would suggest to consciously think about it because um, this is something that pretty much every professional agrees on. Skills are important. Talent is important. It's necessary. You need to be able to have talent to go far. However, I would say it's not even 50% of what will contribute to your successful career. I'd say it's probably more like 40%. If I had to give it a number, I would say about 40%. 60% is your social skills. How do you deal with other people? How do you deal with differences with people? How do you communicate with other people? Do you just keep it all in or do you communicate with them? How do you communicate with them? All these things. And all these things you will improve on. I really improved on these things as I started to more and more visualize the conversation, visualize what I'm saying from the other person's point of view. If you can see it through the other person's point of view, you can better communicate with them. In other words, if you're just stuck in your own mind and you're saying whatever and you're thinking about it only from your point of view, you'll have less of a chance of actually truly communicating with somebody, actually truly getting your point across, the point that you want to get across. There'll be much more room for misinterpretation if we think like that. So, practice thinking about your communication skills. Practice your communication skills. Practice thinking about things from the other person's point of view. Now, here's a practical scenario. Say you get a quote from somebody that's opening up their very first gym, right? And this is actually a real scenario that I had years and years ago when I was just starting off. Somebody's opening up a gym. It's their very first gym. They want something that you did as their logo. Now, how much should you quote them because the person's asking? Well, it's their first gym. They're not an artist. So if you think to your aunt or uncle, mother or father, whoever that's not an artist opening up a gym, how much would that person be willing to pay for a logo? Not how much do you feel you deserve, because that's only thinking about it from your point of view. How much do you think they are willing to spend? That will help you with the quote a lot more, right? So think about that before you quote them. Because if you can think about it from their point of view, and say in the end you're thinking, that person probably paid $300, then you know the number that you can say, and you could probably say 350, who knows? And that's the starting point. You could work with that, and you can think about, well, I don't want to just get $300 for a logo. Minimum I want $1,000. That's what I would feel is fair. So then you're not going to say $1,000. You're going to try to figure it out. So what I did was I said to the person, I know you're just starting off. Usually logos would cost a minimum of $1,000 and higher. So what I'll do for you is I will give you this logo for a year and just charge you $300. And after the year, see how you're doing, check back in, and see if you like the logo. If you don't, you just stop using it, no problem. If you want to continue using it, then you can give me another $300, and that would be $600. And then the third or the second year, I would come back again, now that you've been operational for 2 years, and see if you want to keep the logo permanently, at which time you would give me $400, and then I would get my 1,000, and I'm helping you grow, right? And that worked out great. But if I didn't think about it from their point of view, I only thought about it from my point of view, I would have just said, oh, what do I feel is fair for a logo? $1,000. And then I might not have gotten that $1,000, even though in the end it took me 3 years to get the full $1,000. It was an extra $1,000 that I never would have gotten. All right, hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Okay, There's some things that I was, and if you have any questions, you could just go to schoolism.com, or sorry, facebook.com/bobby.chiu, Chiu, and you can type in your question there. Um, I wrote down I always try to write down a few things that I want to talk about during the stream, and one of them is once your goal is to be the best, then you're willing to put in the work to become the best. That's just something I wrote down. You know, I love how, I love how my life is now. I'm very happy with everything that's happened. It's great. I wouldn't ever change anything in the past because I like how it is in the present. However, if you were to ask me, what would I possibly do differently? Um, it doesn't matter that I don't want to change how the present is, but what would I do differently? What kind of advice would I give, kind of like the cloned version of myself, right? It would be to dream bigger, to have bigger dreams. When I was in school, my dream was just to get into one of the big studios, which is a good dream. And that's the dream for many of us even now. To get into one of the big studios, DreamWorks, Disney, Pixar, whatever it was, that was my dream. Um, but then as I start to dream bigger, that's when my career really started to take off. When you have really high goals, you might not reach all your goals in life, but you'll get a lot higher when you're aiming a lot higher. And when my goal was to be the best that I could be, and that's what I mean by the best, not the best compared to other people, but the best version of yourself. When my goal was to become the best version of myself and to, oh my goodness. When my goal was to become the best version of myself, then that's when I got those jobs that I was aiming for. That's when everything started to click into place a lot more. So dream big and you'll get further. Um, but of course, if you dream big in the sense where it's like I want to go from 0 to 100 with no steps in between, that becomes dangerous again. Which is why I always put in kind of like the clause where it's like you have to use your common sense. Think about where you are now in life, in your career, and where is that going to lead you 5 years from now? Think about it constantly, and it'll help to guide you in the right direction. A lot of times, your plans will change along the way, and that's normal. But plan it anyways. Plan every little micro step, and then constantly use your common sense to see what you need to change. That's what will get you to where you want to go. You have the final destination in mind, and you're willing to change your plan as you go along. Another thing that I wanted to express, something to think about, for me, for everybody out there, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind for your friends, your family, the world to remember you by? Think about it and be productive today. Every day is totally an awesome opportunity, especially nowadays, now that we're so interconnected. Somebody that lives in a village of 700 people will still be able to reach the world with a good internet connection. That's the amazing thing about life today. So take advantage. Think about what your legacy is going to be. And if you're 20, thinking about what your legacy is going to be, that's powerful. Nobody, like hardly anybody thinks about what their legacy is going to be, in their 20s. But something that I feel like has really helped me with my career is that the fact that I constantly am thinking about my legacy. What do I want to leave behind? What do I want people to remember me by? And that's what helped me to start schoolism. That's what helped me to guide me towards doing workshops and educating. It's what guided me to do these streams. Okay, so this painting is almost done. Definitely post all your hamster entries now. And everybody, take a second, go to the event there, and like all the ones that you like. Okay, and we'll see which ones have the most likes, and then I'll choose within that. And the other thing is, invite your friends to the next stream on the 23rd. You know, let's get everybody drawing. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the different entries here off screen, of course. By the way, if you're wondering, how's Bobby going through the entries and still painting online? Well, I've mentioned this before, but I figure I mention it again. This painting I did actually last night before the stream. The reason is because when you're trying to paint and talk and read and scroll and all this stuff, it becomes impossible. I don't want the painting to stop, so I just painted my or recorded myself painting last night, and that's what you're seeing here. So it is a bit of a cheat, I guess, but in my mind, that is me painting. That is not sped up. You are seeing what you would see if you were watching me paint. So hopefully that's okay with everybody, and let's go through these entries. Jenna has a cute hamster there, very nice, a little shaggy. Toby, awesome little painting of a hamster coming out of a gift. Maya, very cute. Hammy says happy holidays. And there's just tons. Really, really nice. Felipe, Andrea, right on. Monica. Oh, that one's really cool. Monica's. Elizabeth. Beautiful. So good. So good. That's definitely one of my favorites so far. Lovely storytelling and really nice personalities there. Dario has a stubborn hamster. Really nice stuff. Wykit did an awesome tribal hamster thing. Very, very cool. Man, right now. Oh, and then Spencer Fuller. Adorable, adorable hamster sitting on a couch, the blanket around him, drinking hot cocoa or something like that. Really great. Sydney, Sydney Kruger, wonderful. It's a really hard decision. And Roseanne has like a million likes on there. Really great stuff. Awesome, awesome little ideas. Sergio got me, painted me as a hamster. Definitely hilarious. Um, Lancelot, that's super funny. Trying to eat this giant sunflower seed. Monica, great. Just really, really awesome, fun sketches. Shran did an awesome one as well. Very cool. All right. Uh, so the winner that I'm gonna pick, man, you know, this is difficult, okay? Really, really difficult. Um, Too many good ones, but I would have to say the ones that get me the most are the ones that have a great idea as well as a very nice technical aspect of it. Elizabeth has definitely one of my favorites. Super, super good. Wykit also has one of my favorites, and Spencer Fuller has such an awesome little painting as well. I think, and just so many. If I don't mention yours, I'm sorry. There's just so many really great entries here. So I would have to say that my favorite has to be Elizabeth. So Elizabeth Vukovic, hopefully I pronounced that right. Elizabeth Vukovic, you have just won a free schoolism class, self-taught version, online. Congratulations, everybody. Such an awesome job. Maya, everybody, Shren, everybody did such an awesome job. And the next one is going to be about snow. Okay? Snow is the topic. You can interpret it any way you want, just like how I interpreted the hamster challenge this week, and did this hamster painting. Really great job, everybody. Which one's your favorite, Kay? Look at that one, huh? We're looking at Spencer Fuller's painting. Super cute. That was so close, really. It was just so, so, so close. Um, there's too many. There's too many really good ones. Lancelot Richardson had an awesome one as well. So funny. The fat hamster in the small ball. That one's great as well. Wow, wonderful. Really great to see. Um, yeah, and the next one is about snow. So please go to facebook.com/bobby.chew. The very first post there, you can see that the topic for drawing is snow. And we get a little longer this time. We have till uh, December 23rd. That's when the next stream is going to start. Um, Big shout outs to everybody that tuned in this week. Want to mention the composition class again. Nathan Fowkes. It's a killer. Super good. And another crazy, exciting good one is Painting Color and Light with Dice Tsutsumi and Robert Kondo. That's going to be available in self-taught version December 16th. And look out for a little promo code that I will send to you guys, or a special URL or something that I will send to you guys through my social media only for a discount that will last just a few days. Okay, so let's see. Any last questions or anything in the timeline? Gonna just check real quick, make sure I didn't leave anybody out. Um, yeah, I don't think so. Now, a couple last thoughts just to remind you guys with. Imagine if you could make decisions without fail or fear of failure. What would you decide to do first? You can learn when doodling. That I agree. But when you draw to learn, you learn a lot more. When you draw with a purpose, you learn a lot more. A certain learning outcome. To go back to, I think it was Bryce's, or sorry, not Bryce, I think it was Mark Jackson's question, um, led to the whole idea that we need three things to get to our goals. Persistence, common sense, belief. Persistence is the engine, common sense is the steering wheel, and belief is the key to it all. You know, a lot of people, their goals are to do commercial work, work on stuff 24/7. My goal was to work and do commercial art 24/7. But that meant to me, it meant 24 hours in a week instead of 40 hours or 50 hours or maybe even more. 24 hours of work in a week, 7 months of the year. It's 24/7. The rest of the time, do my own art. Aim high. What is your goal? How would you like your life to be designed? Don't just think about designing environments and characters and comic books and things like that. Also think about life design. How do you want your life to be? Because if you can get that right, it will only help everything else. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind for your friends, family, the world to remember you by? Think about it and be productive. Another thing to keep in mind is that successful people don't give up easily. All right, I think I have like one more question and then, okay, this is Toby saying he likes the painting. Thank you so much. And for everybody coming out to Florence, gonna see you guys real soon. Everybody coming out to uh, the other workshops, Vancouver, Austin, you're gonna love it. And look out, December 16th, Painting Color and Light with Dice Satsumi and Robert Kondo. Get on the mailing list, get on the notification list to get the reminder email when it comes out. You'll be the first to know. And also look out for workshops in Montreal and Toronto happening soon, uh, or announcing soon. It's going to be epic. It's always epic and awesome. Thank you so much to everybody hanging out with me today. I had a blast. And stay warm, stay safe, aim high, and let's go. Let's do this thing. Make today awesome by making it to your potential. You know, and that's it. Okay, so thank you so much for hanging out, and I'll see you guys next time.